Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome to Broom Talk, the podcast where witches, healers, and magic makers gather to share their journeys, their magic, and their truths. I'm your host, Priestess Mellisa of Enchanted Dragonfly, inviting you to take a seat in the boom circle because the real magic is in the stories we tell. So, let's stir the cauldron and speak the spell. So, I have another magical being with me today. So, tell us your name and your business name.
So I'm Cara, and my business is 2 Owls Limited, and I'm a co-owner with my dad.
I think that story is so sweet.
Thank you.
I love it. And tell us a little bit about what you do.
So we sell crystals and minerals and stones from around the globe. It's taking a lifelong passion and making it into a business. So our mission is to, hand select these precious creations from the earth and get them to their rightful owners, and kind of just be that purveyor of allowing that energy to pass through. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Thanks. And where are you located?
So we don't have a brick and mortar shop yet, so we sell mostly online. We pop up all over Massachusetts and New Hampshire. We do have a presence at Metro West Yoga in Westboro, Massachusetts, as a pop-up. And then we also have popped up at 101A Antique Store in Nashua, New Hampshire. So we're working on a few other locations. So hopefully more to come, but that's where we're at right now.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And how did you start doing what you do?
So my dad and his brother have been lifelong crystal and mineral collectors. Like they do their own mining. They grew up in Oklahoma. So it's always been kind of a thing in our family. Mm. And I was that kid when I grew up too, that I would collect the stones. I'd put them in my pocket. My mom would go to wash my clothes. They would fall out. So, we always just kind of had them around. Mm. And during the pandemic, my dad and I, as a lot of people kind of did, you get your creative juices flowing. And we said, why don't we take our love of crystals and try to make it a little side hustle, make it a business. So that's when 2 Owls was born in 2001. And we've been going ever since.
Awesome. Yeah. Nice story.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what type of practitioner are you?
So not a formal or traditional one. I think that, we specialize in crystal energy. Mm-hmm. I'm a certified crystal energy practitioner. Nice. I got that during the pandemic as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. And so we just kind of work as people come up looking for certain stones, whether they have a specific intention or they're just, trying to get into crystal energy and understand how to work with it. We try to help guide them in their journey and support them along the way.
Nice. That's awesome.
Thank you.
What is your spiritual origin story or an awakening moment?
I think I'd have to point to the 2017, 2018 mark. That's when I was personally going through a lot of very stressful situations. So I would call it one of my most notable dark night of the soul periods in my life. And just having a lot of health issues due to stress and how that kind of goes. And it leads you down interesting paths because sometimes in those situations where Western medicine can't really pinpoint exactly what's going on, you all of a sudden become very open to trying other things. So that's where it kind of started. It started with like a acupuncture, treatments and chiropractic. And that's where like energy work really started coming into my life and how that we're just not these, physical beings that we can touch. There's so many more layers to us as our like overall health comes into play. So, during that time, I was having a lot of trouble sleeping. Just, the mind was racing, and I'm sure many people can relate to that. So I stumbled into a wonderful metaphysical store like this one and shared my situation. And I was led to a polychrome jasper stone and the woman who owned the store said, "This stone would like to work with you in your sleep upwards." So I was like, didn't know anything about crystal energy, but I was like, I will try whatever you say. Open to anything. And so she explained kind of like how to set the intention with it and how to reset the energy, if you will, before working with it. And I followed her instructions and I put it on my nightstand and I said, "Please help me get a good night's sleep and just calm down." And lo and behold, it really seemed to help. And I don't know, you can poke holes in the theory, but ever since then I was kind of a believer. I'm like, there's really something here. So that's where it kind of set me on my path to learn more about the energetics of just working with things like stones and other things. So
yeah, they definitely have like their own vibration, and
mm-hmm.
and I find it fascinating the way they come out of the earth. They're just all these different colors and frequencies, and it's just beautiful.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, the earth, created this naturally. Yeah. It's really, when you find something, it's really wild to kind of put that together. So yeah, there's a lot there.
Nice. Yeah, awesome. What is your daily spiritual or magical practice like?
Every morning I wake up and me and my dog go stand outside. That's kind of our morning. We kind of greet the world that way. Like, she kind of goes off and does her thing. I just stand and try to connect with the earth and with just being in the fresh air and trying to ground myself that way, because I feel like overnight, like, we just must go several different places that I don't even know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel like there's that kind of coming back down to earth, grounding piece. And then typically we'll kind of make some tea together, me and my dog, and
sitting there with the apron on.
Yeah, craft something, and then light a candle, light some incense, and that's kind of like we like to slowly engage into the world. Like, it's nice to like kind of have that time when it's really quiet out, maybe it's dark, to kind of ease in and then let the world wake up with you,
Yeah, I find it's stressful to like hit the ground running, and when you wake up, and I can't do it.
Right.
I just gotta gradually wake up as well.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Who or what inspires your path the most?
I would say my parents. They've always been very supportive, and they're hard workers themselves, and encouraged me to always kind of follow my dreams, follow my paths. And obviously my dad, very supportive with the crystal endeavor. And I also am inspired just by anyone else who's kind of walking the journey, and learning from them. I mean, like, we all have our own paths and challenges and victories. And it's great to connect to people. It inspires me to keep going, so yeah.
Yeah, that's good to have that connection with somebody too, if they can inspire you somehow, especially in ways that you wouldn't even think of.
Definitely.
Which is very surprising, and I love that. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, because we get so trapped in our own heads and our own stuff,
We do.
It's nice to kind of get another perspective. Like, oh yeah, maybe I could try that.
Yeah, always be a student.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. What was your biggest challenge you faced on your journey, and how did you overcome it?
So I guess going back to kind of like the same time table when I was having all those health issues and whatnot, I think it was really trying to learn how to trust myself and trust my intuition, because I think that when there's a lot of things going on in your life and you feel like everything's kind of falling apart, sometimes I feel like our tendency is to look to the outside for the fix. Like, that one doctor, that one guru that, just like, tell me what to do so I can be done with this. And then over a lot of, kind of falling down and in those moments where you're just like, don't know what to do, I realized that I really needed to start trusting myself and tuning into my own intuition, understanding what that sounded like, what that felt like. And I mean, I don't have it mastered at all. I think it's probably a lifelong practice, but it was an interesting defining moment when I was like, oh, like I can have a say in this. Like so
listen to your inner voice.
Yeah.
More. Yeah. And it's like when you get it down, something else comes up. So now you have to address that.
Right.
And so it's never like perfect and stays like that. It's always gonna fluctuate. Yeah. So. And
I'm an Aries. I'm very impatient. So like I just want I thought I already addressed this. I thought we already did this. But it's patience. So it's like you said, a constant ongoing student for the rest of my life.
Nice. What tools, methods, or spirits guide your work?
Well, I mean, crystals are kind of our thing. I think there's a lot of wisdom and just like untapped energetic possibilities that, we have working with the crystal energy and the ways that it can kind of just help stabilize us, keep us going, keep us focused, connect with the earth in a different way. So I think that's predominantly my my tool of choice. But I also really enjoy working with anything with like breath work or anything that where it kind of helps me to connect into with myself and calm down, because
that Aries.
I struggle.
My mother's an Aries, my brother's an Aries, and so is my husband. So I feel that.
Well, bless you.
Yeah.
So
I love you, Aries, though. You guys are great. How do you stay energetically protected and grounded?
Let's see. So from a crystal standpoint, I do find myself feeling like I'm not wearing any clothes if I don't have at least one or two crystals on my body. There's something about that that helps me feel kind of like I'm in my bubble. I put the crystals in my car. I put them, they're all over the house. My husband's very patient, so that's good. Again, I feel like going back to the breath work, I find that to be very cleansing and kind of just like, at the end of the night, I do some breathing. I do some mental cord cutting to kind of cut the energy from the day, release it, call back any of the energy that I let go, because I like to do that pretty regularly. So that's they're just small things, but I feel like it keeps me going.
Oh yeah, those small definitely are big impacts for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Excuse me. What is one common misconception about your craft or your work?
Oh, well, it's kind of hard if you're, I struggle with this myself because I find I'm pretty analytical. So the fact that I work, with crystal energy and things like that is sometimes a struggle, because I want the scientific facts behind it. I want to be able to prove it. So, and I think that there's a lot of data out there that does explain that, crystals, like we're all energy, matter is energy, and we're giving off different energetic frequencies on any given day. And then these stones emanate energy and frequency as well, but it's very consistent and it's measurable. And so when someone will stop by our table at an event or whatnot, and they're, you could tell they're skeptics. They're like, this is just a rock, I always like the luxury of being able to hand them a stone and ask them to place it in their left hand and to just really sit and breathe with it and keep an open mind and see like what comes up. And it's funny to watch the transformation and kind of the wheels turning and like being able to like tangibly allow them to experience it, as opposed to trying to explain the science behind it. And, no, really, it's a thing. So that's kind of like the common challenge that we get. It's like, what is all this about? Is it, and my dad, he is not from the mindset of like working with them from an energetic standpoint. He just liked them because they're cool and they're pretty and they're interesting. So ever since we started Two Owls, he's coming more and more around to like understanding it. But at first he's like, is this voodoo? Like, are we doing voodoo here? And I said, no. I said, this is just an ancient practice that's been around for a while, so we'll just go with it. And so he's coming around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing you may find interesting is I saw recently online, they were trying to prove the frequencies or the vibrations or the auras from the crystals. So they use an aura photography on certain stones, especially the bigger ones. Yeah. Or they would do like a pile of tumbles, and you could see the auras coming off these. It was fascinating. I loved it.
That's super cool. What an interesting idea.
Yeah. So maybe you could find have somebody take some aura photography of your crystals and be like, see?
I love that. Yeah. Blow it up and just be like, well, let me exhibit A. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Can you share a powerful or memorable client transformation?
So we don't really work with people on, kind of long-term situations. They come up more like one-off. But we did recently have a nice story where we had a mother and a young son who came up, and the young son was really struggling with a lot of anxiety, especially at night, and like dealing with a little bit with some bad dreams. And you could tell that the mother was really, she was stressed out for him too, because there's, we hate to see your child struggle, and we know that sleep is so important. And so we went through a really cool exercise, because children are super intuitive, like, and it's wild to watch them with crystals and how they select things. And basically what we try to do is we can give recommendations to people based on our experience of the stones, of which ones are great for. anxiety and relaxation, or help with sleep, or something like that. But there's also a lot of a value for the person to be able to pick the stone that they want to partner with, and they should be partnering with. So we spent a good amount of time, so like a nice 15 minutes or whatever, kind of talking to him and kind of showing him all the stones, and saying that here's a couple we think you might like, but you go to what you're drawn to. And lepidolite is always kind of like my go-to for people who are having issues with sleep. And he did, kind of pick through them and whatnot, but he just kept going back to this one piece of carnelian. And I know you're thinking carnelian is not a typical stone that you would, suggest to someone if they're looking to relax. It's the Aries stone. It's very fiery. But he just knew. He said, I think this is the one. This is the one. So we said, okay. I said, just out of curiosity, would you mind shooting me, the mother, would you mind shooting me an email, just letting me know how it goes? Because I'm really curious, because this is new for me. Yeah. And about a week later, she did email me. She was very kind, and she said that he was very successful in sleeping comfortably with his carnelian, and he felt like that it was a badge of like protection for him, and like allowed him to kind of have some peace of mind. So whatever that carnelian did, it did way more than I would ever expect it to do. And, it was an honor to be part of that kind of, that's what I love most about being able to like kind of work in this space, is watch people in their journeys and how they pick their partners. Yeah.
I wonder if he needed a little bit of grounding, because sometimes carnelian is connected to the root chakra. Yeah. So maybe he needed a little bit of that, or it's with the solar plex, or what I mean? So not the solar plex, the sacral. Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny how one stone will affect one person differently than the other one. That's awesome.
For sure. Yeah. Because I feel like if I ever tried to sleep with carnelian, I would it's like being on a rocket ship, so I don't think it would work out well. But,
I mean, I'd have a lot of confidence about going to sleep, but I'm sleeping.
Don't know what else is going to be happening that night, but it's very cool.
Nice. That's awesome. What sacred self-care practices keep you aligned?
Oh, well, I think as we're chatting about before we started recording, I think sometimes just a little treat, a little self-care. Going to a nice metaphysical store and letting yourself, because there's something about metaphysical stores, the energy, the vibe, like even though every metaphysical store carries its own energy, it's always like a nice one, and it kind of just allows you to kind of like decompress a little bit. So I do regularly try to like treat myself, but maybe too often. But on a regular day to day, I think it is like anytime I can get out in nature, anytime I can get out, walk with my dog, and just take some quiet minutes. I end up touching a lot of rocks throughout the day too. I have a bunch of rocks on my desk. I work from home. So, I'm kind of constantly just maybe messing with them a little bit, and they seem to help kind of calm me down.
Yeah. Those day jobs could be very stressful.
Yeah, I know. But it's too bad you need them,
I know. Awesome. What does success look like to you as a spiritual business owner?
I think that just, if we can be as authentic as possible, like we try to consciously source all of the minerals that we get. We hand select them. Nice. Like it's a very personal relationship. And I feel like that does make a difference. So then when we are kind of that conduit to get the crystal to its new partner, it feels really good. It feels like, we're actually helping the community and helping the energy kind of flow through. And I feel like, especially in times like these where things are really complicated, that if we can, bring some of that joy or that help to people in a way that we feel is done with good intention, like I feel like that's a success for us.
Nice. Do you follow the moon, astrology, or seasonal cycles in your work?
I'm not religious about it, but I'm very much aware of the moon. I'm very much aware of astrology, and like I say that the experts out there, I give them so much credit, and I'm so glad they're out there so they can tell me what's going on. Yeah. Because I don't know, but even like right now we're right in the middle of eclipse season, right?
And lunar eclipse. I think we're out of the energy now.
Oh, we are?
Okay. Or there was something, I don't follow astrology too much, but there was some other event that was happening. Something was in retrograde. I forget what it is.
Yeah, but it's like, that's the thing. It's like, something wacky's going on,
Yeah.
So it's like that's when I kind of try to tune into my astrological forecast folks and kind of explain, what's going on. But I feel like I would navigate my life a lot better if I paid attention to these things more. But I kind of just fly off the seat of my pants. So.
Yeah. Yeah, same. That's all right.
Okay, thanks.
It's all right. Something you wish more people knew about energy work, divination, rituals, what have you?
I would say that there's no wrong way to do it. Like, like your own personal practice, like whatever works for you, as long as you're not, infringing on someone else or, or harming, anything. Like I feel like that sometimes we get very caught up into like rules and like structure. And I feel like that there's a time and place for that. Mm-hmm. But when you're first starting out, it can be very overwhelming. Yeah. So like small ways to honor yourself and honor your practice and your spirituality and how it works for you. And I think it's very personal. And I think that there's really no right or wrong there,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Good advice. Yeah. If you could give one piece of advice to someone just starting their path, what would it be?
Oh, well, I would go back to maybe trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting that you have more innate wisdom within yourself than you can even probably realize. And that, at the end of the day, you're the captain of your own ship, and whatever feels right and good for you and your highest, then that you always defer to that.
Yeah, absolutely. What magic are you currently brewing in regards to any events you're doing, new places you may be popping up at, if you're doing any classes or anything like that?
Yeah, so we have a couple of pop-up shops that we're working on right now that I can't share the details because they're still early days. But if you follow us on Instagram, like we will put that's where we put all our news. Okay. But we're popping up. September, October, November is a very hot month for us for our pop-ups. We'll be all over, doing the fall festivals, which is my favorite time of year. We'll be at the Enchanted Dragonflies marketplace in a couple of weeks, which we're very excited to attend. And so yeah, again, if our Instagram always has where we'll be next. So
nice.
I'm excited. This is my time of year.
Yeah. And we're excited to have you. Can't wait.
Thank you.
Now for some fun questions.
Great.
What is your sun, moon, and rising, if you know them all?
Well, Aries is the sun, moon is Pisces, and the rising is Scorpio.
Nice. Spicy girl,
Spicy, for sure.
I love it. Do you have a favorite crystal or herb or tool that you work with?
Well, the favorite crystal is a hard question because I think they're all my favorite, but what I own the most of personally is probably labradorite.
Nice.
Because it's just such a unique, and like every piece is so different. It's very grounding. It's very magical. It gives some nice protection. I just that's probably my number one fave.
Peace out to you, labradorite.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. What is your magical nickname or an archetype that you resonate with?
I don't have a magical nickname, but I'm open to it.
Yeah.
Like, so if whatever comes my way, I'm very open.
Labradorite lady.
Right. I'm fine with that. Let's go with that.
Nice. We just got a new nickname for
you. There you
go. Tea or tincture?
Tea for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tarot or runes?
Tarot.
Nice.
Yes.
Cauldron or candle?
Candle.
Nice. If your spirit guide had a voice, what would it sound like?
Oh, Lord. I think it would sound very exasperated with me. They try so hard and to help. I know they know they're there. I know they're always trying to wave me down, and I'm always maybe missing that. So
someone smoking a cigarette in the background.
Right, going, not again,
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a dog. Her name is Sansa, like from the Game of Thrones.
Nice.
My dad calls her Salsa because he never watched Game of Thrones. So the name is not catching on to him, but to everyone else, she is Sansa. She's a husky lab mix.
Aww.
And she is 12 years old, and she is just my little furry angel.
She sounds so cute.
Thank you.
And that was all the questions I have for you.
Thank you.
Did you want to talk about anything else?
No, just invite everybody to follow 2 Owls Limited on Instagram. That's where the latest and greatest news is. And I just appreciate the time being here and spending this time with you.
Yes, it was a good conversation. Thank you for joining me. Absolutely.
Thanks.
So I'm going to put her Instagram link in the description with this video. So go check her out and come check her out at Enchanted Market, which is in like two weeks. I'm so excited. And as always, check us out at Enchanted Dragonfly at 99 Church Street, Whitinsville, Massachusetts. We're a metaphysical store. We hold classes and events and all that fun stuff. And subscribe to this channel. Help us grow, like this episode. Share with your friends. They'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends. And love you all. Bless you guys. Bye.
Bye.